time, Tour de Yorkshire, for its first ever edition, is already on the podium.
But the race can be better still with better riders.
It was only the first edition. I remember you 3 days ago. There was no Tour de Yorkshire at all. It's the history of cycling. So yes, of course, it's for we can improve a few things. Yes, you're right, and we will do it. We'll try to do it, of course.
Would you encourage Yorkshire to bid for future World Championships?
I am the director of the tour.
Would you encourage him from what you've seen?
Yorkshire, I just repeat what I said, Yorkshire is made for cycling. So you can imagine everything and anything you want for cycling here. But not only cycling for champions, cycling for everybody. Because that's really nice. We want to have a flat stage, it's possible. We want to have a hilly stage, a very hilly stage, that's possible too. So
the process for a World Championship is we would have to have the backing of British cycling. So it would be a British cycling and a Yorkshire combined bid. So British cycling really need to decide if they want to back a bid for the World Championships in the UK firstly, and then would Yorkshire be the partner for them, or would they want to put it in another part of the UK?
Have you had those?
We've started those discussions, but from our point of view, we would love to have the World Championships in Yorkshire. I think it's an obvious thing. The World Championships. I think we'd love to come to Yorkshire after what you've seen over the last 3 days for a first edition of a new race, 1.5 million people out. How could you not say that after you see much smaller crowds as other events, why wouldn't you want to come here? You have all the ingredients for it. And we still have some great stages that we haven't introduced the world to yet.
What do you think, one of the most impressive things I suppose has been this kind of tangible legacy from the Tour de France Grand Part. Legacy is something that
it's most overused word in the English language.
What lessons could you give to something like the Rugby World Cup, for example, coming up later this year, and they're struggling with the idea of what legacy is?
It's up for them to solve that, but we have a simple rule in our team: we don't talk about legacy, we talk about actions. And it's about actions. What are you doing every week? Show me what actions you've done that week that helps us realise our ambition to become the European capital of cycling. It's no point talking about theoretical, ethereal legacies and things like that. What's the facts? And we've got this race that we've got off the ground now. We've got bike libraries now being introduced across the county so that every child in Yorkshire will have access to a bicycle. These are tangible actions that it's loosely called legacy, but our actions are part of our objectives to make sure that over the next 10, 15, 20 years we become properly the European capital of cycling. But Andy Rees, I had breakfast with him yesterday. He said to me, he said, "Hey Gary, you've done a great thing here, He said, "You are the new Belgium." So I take that as a compliment.
That's a compliment.
Christian, in your time with A.S.O. and especially as director of the tour and the races, have you ever seen an inaugural edition of a race that's been anything like what we see this week?
No. No?
In what respect? The crowds, the racing?
Never.
Everything?
Never. First time.
Never.
Sorry, my English teacher. Never.
But is that one aspect in particular, the crowds, the racing, or just the whole?
I hoped many people, but you have always an interrogation. Is it a question? Is it possible to have so many people as it was during the Grand Départ? It was almost the case. So yes, I'm really happy. I was thrilled when we were climbing in the car, by car, through the hills. It was just unbelievable. So the legacy, even if it's action, the legacy is already here. With Tour de Yorkshire. And it's Yorkshire, and it was in Gary's mind, and it is Tour de Yorkshire. So you have the link with the Tour de France, and the link with Yorkshire, because it's in Yorkshire. So yes, it's very, for a first edition, it's very, very, very powerful. And it's not only what we think, but my teammates, my colleagues, told me, our Olympic champion, Jean-Michel Lambert, Olympic champion in 1996. Eh ben celle-là, hein, on était content d'y être. It's very strong for a first edition.
We talked 10 months ago about how the Grand Depart here kind of the game changer for the Tour de France, the Grand Tour de Depart. Is this race done the same thing?
Yorkshire raised the bar
Yeah.
for Grand Depart, the Tour. And first edition of Tour de Yorkshire put the bar that is already very high. But yes, we will try and we will work for improvement year after year. But the baby was born and est bien né. I don't know if it's something you say in English. Le bébé est bien né. Le bébé est bien né. Quand tu dis ça, on dit
The baby is born.
Ouais, non,
Non, mais-
bien né, ça veut dire ça.
It's
fast growing.
It has had a very good start in life.
Yes.
Ça a eu un bon début de vie.
You talked last Thursday. You talked about your World Tour ambitions. Right now, we've seen 3 days of racing. Can you put a time schedule on these ambitions?
Well,
Well, the baby is growing because the baby is growing fast.
we both said that we want this race, the Tour de Yorkshire, to be one of the best races on the planet. So that when people say, what are the best 3, best 5, whatever it might be, what are the top 5 cycling races in the world, Tour de France obviously, we want to be in that conversation. We want to be in the mix there. We don't want people to forget us and say, there's another small race in Yorkshire. We want to say, yes, and obviously this one as well. We want to be one of the, now, we might not get there in the next couple of years, it might take us more time, but we want to get there as quickly as possible. And you've seen already, with the way that the people of Yorkshire and the cycling world has embraced this race, and huge numbers of people turning out, and we have great stages. It's not just we can put a race on and a crowd turns up. You talk to the riders, they'll say that Friday's stage is like an Ardennes Classic, and we have that kind of. We saw that last year with the Tour de France. We have that kind of stage here, with many other climbs that we haven't introduced the world to yet, that will amaze people. We put together other editions, and we will always have some of the active finishes that you've seen already.
Well, one other question, not to shorten all under 139 contenders, but what about next year without Bradley Wiggins? I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to, how do you say it?
Belittle.
Yeah, belittle on the other, like I said, 139, but he was one of the iconic parts as well this year.
Yeah, but there are other iconic riders in the world as well that might want to come next year who weren't here this year.
Yeah.
They get a very warm welcome in Yorkshire.
Gary, what do you want next year? What do you want to do the next one and the one after that? In terms of actions, not words.
So specifically, we want to look at the television coverage to make sure that we get a broader base of television coverage. We want to look at the women's race to see how we help that one to grow. And we want to come up with again some iconic stages that are equivalent to the first stage or the third stage that you've seen today that make people go wow, not just because of the size of the crowd and so on, but because of the quality of the course.
Do you want your more days racing? 4 days, 5 days? Where do your ambitions lie?
Well, I think we'll just reflect on the 3 days that we've had at the moment next week.
Just going back to that world discussion with British cycling,
Yes.
have you got a date in mind